checkers. The Clippers opened the offseason at 10-1 to win the chip, but then dropped to 20-1 when DeAndre supposedly went to Dallas, and now they're back to 12-1, tied for 5th best with the Bulls. Cavs still favored to win it all at 2-1. Let's let the guys weigh in now with your top 5 NBA teams at this moment in free agency here. George, who you got?
I'm going to take a page out of Denny Green's playbook and say, with the Spurs, if you want to crown them, then you crown them. It was hard, though. I am a Warriors guy. I have been a guy who defended the Warriors for a long time in that style of basketball, so I'm happy that they won the championship.
Skip is smiling right now.
And I do think that if there is one team that can knock off the Spurs, it would be the Golden State Warriors, because the 3-ball is the big equalizer there. But I'm going with the Spurs right now. They have created the next version of what the Spurs are going to be already, while keeping the old version still there, too. You got Manu coming back. You got Tim coming back. You've got Tony there still. Now you got Kawhi. You've got LaMarcus. Now they got to fill out the role players a little bit, but I trust that organization will find the guys to fit that and do it the right way. But, again, splitting hairs. The Warriors are the champs. I almost have them as 1 and 1A at this point. They seem to be bringing everyone back. I love me some Draymond Green. Draymond Green, one of the most versatile players in the entire league. Steph Curry, he is the greatest shooter of all time. And you think about a guy who's active, and we're saying that, considering we've seen guys like Ray Allen and Reggie Miller play in this league, but what he does off the dribble is unlike anything we've ever seen. So that team is as versatile as any, too. So that's kind of 1 and 1A, but for the sake of this, we'll go 1 and 2. Then I got the Cavs, because it's the Eastern Conference. They've got the easiest path there, certainly, to win a championship. And they're loaded still.
Yeah, they retained everybody.
Right. They've got the best player on the planet in LeBron James. I still think he's going to be that guy for the next couple of years, though. Anthony Davis is chasing him. Yes. Anthony Davis will be that next guy in a couple of years. But they got LeBron. They bring their guys back. They should be healthy with Love and Kyrie. We'll see how the chemistry, though, fits, because at times it was up and down. They still could use another shooter, I think, but overall they're the strongest team in the Eastern Conference. Then I got more West teams. I had the Thunder and the Rockets. But when DeAndre went back and messed with Mark Cuban's head, I put the Clippers back in there, because I think the Clippers should have beat the Rockets last year, but they were so thin, their roster was basically 6 guys. And I know Austin Rivers had a few good games out there, during the postseason, but they ran out of gas. The wheels kind of came off on that team, and that's why I thought the Rockets ended up winning that series. But I like them to come back and be a force in the Western Conference, be one of the top 3 teams in the Western Conference with DeAndre back. And look, I got to give love to the Thunder. I know it's a big if, but if they're healthy, I think they can win a championship. Any of those teams, I think, can win the championship, obviously. But you got 2 of the best 5 or 6 players in the NBA on one roster. There's not another roster, I think, that can boast that at this point. So you have to give the Thunder a ton of credit. I am putting them at 5 simply because I don't know what Billy Donovan's going to look like as a coach, what they're going to run, how they're going to look on offense and defense. But with that type of talent, you know they're going to be one of the better teams in the league.
Definitely.
Someone else loves the Thunder. I actually heard the word Kevin Durant groupie from his brother.
I've been waiting for this segment. It gives me time to. I've been telling everyone for years, Kevin Durant is the best player in the NBA. And, I think for a guy, he went out there.
He says after that, everybody stopped listening.
He went out there.
They changed the channel?
He went out there with LeBron, fully healthy, and won the MVP award. And then probably would have came back and won another MVP award if it wasn't for being injured. And then now, but since he was injured, you get a guy that steps in and, at some parts during the season, if he doesn't get hurt early in the season, Russell Westbrook had a good chance to be the MVP this year. So you take that team and finally having a low post guy like Cancer who can score,
He's a restricted free agent.
Yeah, got to re-sign him.
Hopefully no one poaches him and we can keep him. And then now Ibaka's getting better.
You went we.
Yeah, that's his squad right there.
You grew up in Jersey and you went we.
Celtics fans.
You can't root for the Knicks, man.
No,
you can't root for the
Knicks.
Knicks.
Like the Celtics. Yeah, I mean, I'm Thunder and I root for the Celtics. Yeah. So, but then, like you said, I got the Warriors in there simply because at the number 2 seed, they're coming off a championship.
Yeah.
They brought a lot of guys back. They brought all the key guys back. And, you know, obviously losing David Lee, you know, doesn't look like it hurt you in the regular season because he didn't play much. But he ended up being pretty big in the postseason, stepping up and having to play. But then, you know, I go Cavs, Spurs, and Clippers. And the Cavs, you know, I think you got some question marks there. Obviously, you know, you don't know what's happened with Tristan Thompson. You know, you hear he's signing a deal, then you hear he doesn't. Then you hear LeBron wants him to sign before he signs. So who knows what goes on there. And then I think that's what leads a little bit.
No,
I don't think so either, but I think that's what leads a little bit to them not having great chemistry.
But he has the opt out there that where he's sitting there and he's putting the pressure on Dan Gilbert to do
exactly what he wants.
Yeah.
So I think when you have a team built like that, who do you listen to once the season starts? Am I listening to the star player / head coach / GM
/ owner
you know, who am I listening to here? And I think that hurts them, you know. And then I went Spurs because I do think the Spurs, you know, you have a great core group of guys, and then you add, you know, David West and Aldridge.
I forgot David West.
You know, and David West is a veteran who's going to bring even more leadership. That's another guy you can count on. And I think a big pickup for them might be Ray McCollum coming from the Kings, who's a young guy. Every summer league he's played and he's dominated. And I think, you know, sometimes you get on a team like the Kings where it's a lot of young guys, it's not winning. You're just out there playing. And I think he's beginning a system with San Antonio where he's a great shooter.
And the reserves always play well there. Yeah.
I think he has a chance to blossom there. And then obviously with DeAndre Jordan going back, you have to put the Clippers in there. You know, obviously the opening round against the Spurs could have went either way with them winning that. But like you said, there's no way they should have really lost the series up 3-1. But you know, fatigue comes into effect. We saw that in the finals with LeBron. You know, you can't go out there and dominate and play all those minutes every night in a long series. So, but like you said, any of these 5 teams can win. Obviously, I think the Thunder have the best chance of winning if staying healthy, but any of those teams can win.
Now, you want to add him more on the Kevin Durant relationship?
Yeah, obviously he's wrong. You know, one of his teammates is friends with, I think, Durant's friend, and we're literally at the after party at the Super Bowl, and he's in the corner FaceTiming Kevin Durant.
It's like that?
I mean,
it's just screenshots.
He has the biggest smile on his face. And
it's just two guys that play on great teams, great organizations. Just congratulate and, you know, gave them good luck going into the season. So no big deal.
Did you send him some emojis on the text?
No, emojis are huge though. That's not just a woman. I'm an emoji guy, but no emojis.
That's a whole nother debate.
Yeah,
Men and emojis, whole nother
No,
thing.
there's some manly emojis out there.
There are, really.
I don't know about the emoji
I debated on emojis and eventually I caved on emojis.
Are you an emoji guy?
I caved in recently. I wasn't, but I caved.
There's some pickup line
an
emojis.
emoji guy?
Yeah, you can you know, really get a girl over a text message with some key emojis. You definitely
Let's get into Jason's picks though. We'll discuss the emoji game later.
Yeah, we'll leave that for later. You know, I started out with the Warriors. You know, a team that won the NBA championship, and they have the whole team back. You know, Steph Curry's only getting better now that he's been healthy the last few seasons. You still have a guy like Klay Thompson, where they're probably the best backcourt in the entire league. You have basically the best point guard from last year, and then you can say Klay Thompson's in the top 3 of the shooting guards with himself, James Harden, and Jimmy Butler. So a backcourt like that with a guy like Draymond Green, who put up triple doubles throughout the playoffs, like that's hard to beat. You know, a guy like Harrison Barnes struggled a little bit in the finals, but he's a key piece for them that probably when his deal is up, he may go sign a big deal elsewhere, but they still have all of those guys intact and still have a guy like Bogut too, playing center, a big guy down low. So to me, there's nothing that happened through the offseason that takes them from the #1 spot. And second, I have the Cavs, basically because they have the best player on the planet. LeBron James, he proved in those finals that he is that good. I mean, you look at that team with Dellavedova, who played really well throughout the finals, but was really almost playing above where he was supposed to play. No Kyrie Irving, no Kevin Love.
Oh, no, that's a good point.
And J.R. Smith is out there, and one game he goes for 28, the next game he's 1 of 10 or something like that. And LeBron was an assist away from averaging a triple-double in the finals. I actually was in a barbershop, and someone told me, I can't stand LeBron. He gave up in the finals. And I was like, were you watching the same games I was watching? This guy gave everything on the court and just dominated the entire series. 3, I went with the Clippers. You know, bringing DeAndre Jordan back. You know, they were able to beat the Spurs last year in the playoffs. Obviously, the Spurs have made some improvements, but to me, so have the Clippers. You know, getting a guy like Paul Pierce, another closer to go with Chris Paul. They struggled a little bit last year in the playoffs, coming down to those last shots. If CP wasn't able to get the shot up, Blake struggled a little bit where he'd be just tremendous through the first 3 quarters and struggled a little bit in the fourth. You know, that is Paul Pierce, the truth. The fourth quarter is where he comes alive. We were talking about it earlier. This past year in Washington, his minutes were kind of held back throughout the regular season. Then you turn on the playoffs and he's hitting game winner after game winner, whether it was before the buzzer or after.
Right.
So that's just what he does. And so then after that, I have the Spurs at 4 because of the moves they've made in the offseason with Aldridge, and it's gonna be fun to watch a rotation of Aldridge, Tim Duncan, and David West. So that'll be very exciting. Then
don't forget Splinter.
No, he's gone. He's gone. They traded him to Atlanta.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
And 5th, I have the Grizzlies. Bringing Marc Gasol back, who's one of the best centers, in the league. Him, DeMarcus Cousins, all of those guys are up there. I have them at 5th. They were able to go get Matt Barnes, who's going to be another big pickup for them, a guy that can make an open 3-ball and plays excellent on the wing for defense. And you still have Zach Randolph. They're probably the best duo. Maybe now that the Spurs have Aldridge and Duncan, it may change a little bit. And before he gets to it, OKC did not make my top 5. Was OKC in the playoffs?
Would OKC have won if Irving and Love were playing?
Cleveland.
Yes, excuse me. Would Cleveland have won?
It's hard to say, but I believe so. You look at that. They were able to win 2 games in that game. And obviously, Steph Curry didn't play at his best. I think Harrison Barnes was like 0 of 8 in a game. So they had some off games, but credit Cleveland's defense for that, too. Dellavedova did an awesome job guarding Steph Curry. And people say, well, he got exposed.
Fell off, though.
And, I think less than him falling off, Steph Curry just started to make his shots. Dellavedova did all he could to be annoying. And you look at Iguodala, who played excellent defense on LeBron that entire series, and he still averaged over 30 points. I mean, he took a lot of shots, but still, you can play great defense on these on the superstar players, but when they're making shots, there's nothing you can do about it. You watched Kobe Bryant for years take tough fadeaways at the buzzer, Dwayne Wade, all of these guys. Doesn't matter what type of defense you're playing. When they're in the zone, they're in the zone. So I think with the guy, you look at game 1 where Kyrie Irving was still hampered. He scored 22 points. So, if you have him the entire series and you add a guy like Love, they struggled in the beginning of the season, but Cleveland was starting to build chemistry going into those playoffs, and they were playing well before Love got hurt.
I don't think they win the series, though. I think when you play 7 games, the better team usually wins the series. And I think from top to bottom, Golden State was the better. Because even with Love and Kyrie out there, you still
so 2 years ago, you're going to tell me Miami was the better team than the Spurs, just overall?
Yes, I think so.
They were pretty even, though.
Yeah.
When Ray Allen hit the shot years ago?
Yes,
they were pretty even, I thought.
And I thought that's what this Cleveland team missed, a guy like Ray Allen. You didn't have the guy that can knock down. Even with Kyrie out there, only time you had a really good 3-point shooter is if Kyrie was out there and LeBron had the ball. But, J.R. Smith and Shumpert, they struggled, and they took open shots. It's not like it would have been different, so I don't know.
I'm with you. I think what ends up happening is defensively they were actually much better because Kyrie and Love are not necessarily great defensive players. They were much better, and the Warriors struggled a bit with a defensive team like that with Memphis early, and they came back in a very similar fashion. I think if Love and Kyrie are in there, you're almost playing into the Warriors' hands because they're going to want to play at a faster tempo, and that's exactly what the Warriors want to do.
That's a good point.
All right, so those are our top 5 NBA teams. How about top 5 receivers? Giving you guys nightmares there. Dez, Megatron, Antonio, ODB, Jordy. Who is the best receiver in the NFL? Our NFL experts will give you their top 5 when we come back.